Picture this, a computer processor, which was sold with its graphics capabilities permanently disabled, suddenly starts producing a video signal. That shouldn't be possible. It's like a light bulb shining with no power cord. This is the incredible story of a CPU's ghost signal.
So, can a computer just break its own fundamental rules? Well, we're going to dive into a real-life tech mystery about a regular gamer, their PC, and a critical component that literally came back from the dead.
So our story kicks off with a pretty normal situation. Someone's got a powerful gaming PC, right? They decide to sell their graphics card, which is something people do all the time when they're upgrading. And this is the exact moment things start to get really weird. And here's the critical part. With the graphics card gone and using a CPU that is guaranteed by the manufacturer to have no working graphics, plugging the monitor into the motherboard should do, well, nothing. The screen is supposed to be black. Period. That's the rule. Except it didn't stay black. The screen lit up. The computer worked. A video signal was coming from a source that, by all accounts, simply shouldn't exist. This is the ghost in the machine, and we are going to figure out how this is even possible.
Okay, to really wrap your head around just how bizarre this is, we need to lay down the ground rules. We have to talk about how these chips are actually made and what those letters in the processor's name really mean.
You see, the K in a CPU's name just means it's unlocked for performance tuning, which is cool, but not our focus. It's that F. The F is the key to this whole mystery. That letter is basically a promise from Intel that says, hey, the built-in graphics on this chip, they don't work. It means you have to use a separate graphics card.
And look, if you put them side by side, the K and the KF models are basically twins. Same number of cores, same clock speed, they're identical in every way, except for this one critical detail. The regular K has its graphics enabled, the KF has them disabled. And we're not talking about a software setting here. This is supposed to be permanently fused off at the factory.
Now, here's the crucial part. An F-series chip isn't a completely different design. It actually starts its life as a normal, fully featured chip. But during testing, maybe they find a tiny flaw in the graphics section. So instead of throwing the whole thing away, which would be a huge waste, Intel just permanently disables that faulty part and sells it as a KF model. So the hardware is still physically there, it's just been locked away forever. Or so everyone thought.
So if the graphics are supposed to be broken and locked down, how in the world did a signal get out? Well, our first big clue comes from understanding that a GPU, or a graphics unit, isn't just one single thing. It's more like a team of specialists all working together.
Think of it like a toolkit, right? You've got your heavy-duty power tools. Those are the 3D processing units that do all the hard work for gaming. You have special tools just for playing video, others for AI stuff, but then you also have this one really simple basic tool in the kit, the display engine. Its only job is to take an image that's already made and send it out to your monitor. That's it.
And right there, that is our first major clue. When Intel finds a defect and disables the graphics, it's usually because those complex heavy-duty 3D parts are the problem. But what if? What if the defect was only in those parts and that much simpler display engine, the part whose only job is to send a signal? What if that was still physically intact? This is where the story goes from a single weird event to an unbelievable chain of coincidences. For this ghost signal to actually show up, it wasn't just one thing that went wrong. Oh no. It was a cascade of 3 completely separate failures, all happening in the perfect sequence.
Okay, coincidence number 1, the CPU itself. The chip this person had was in fact a real KF model. Its main 3D graphics hardware was faulty, just as advertised. But by pure, random chance, the simple little display engine inside that same chip happened to be physically undamaged.
Next up, coincidence number 2, the motherboard. The motherboard's firmware, its BIOS, had a rare and specific bug. It was programmed to respect Intel's permanent lock on the graphics, but this bug caused it to ignore the lock, peek behind the curtain, and detect the faint electronic pulse of that display engine that was still alive.
And finally, the third coincidence, the software. Once the motherboard's bug passed that rogue signal along, Windows saw it, and it got totally confused. It looked for an Intel graphics driver, but of course it couldn't find one because officially, no graphics exist. So, Windows fell back on its last resort, a basic Microsoft display driver that forces the main CPU to do all the graphics rendering itself.
And there you have it. The mystery is solved. It was a three-part cascade of errors. So you might be thinking, wow, did this person just unlock a secret free feature? Was this some kind of hidden bonus? The answer is an emphatic no. It was actually a curse.
The performance was catastrophic. I mean, just awful. When the user tried to play a game, they were getting just 4 frames per second. 4! It was basically a slideshow. Meanwhile, the main CPU, which was now being forced to do the job of a graphics card, was completely maxed out, running at 100% capacity, just trying to keep up.
And this analogy explains exactly why. A CPU is like a single brilliant mathematician. It's fantastic at solving really complex problems one by one. A GPU, on the other hand, is like an army of students. They can't solve the really hard problems, but they can solve thousands of simple problems all at the same time. Graphics is a job for the army, not the mathematician. Forcing a CPU to do it is just incredibly inefficient.
So ultimately, this wasn't some secret feature. It was a bug stacked on top of a manufacturing fluke, stacked on top of another bug. A true perfect storm of errors. This user essentially won the glitch lottery. You could try to make this happen again, even with the exact same model of CPU and motherboard, and it almost certainly wouldn't work. Everything had to align perfectly for this ghost to appear.
You know, a story like this is a fascinating reminder that even in our highly controlled, highly precise world of silicon chips, there are layers and layers of complexity where totally improbable, ghostly anomalies can still happen. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other impossible glitches are just hiding beneath the surface of the technology we use every single day?
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the latest update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.